I have started learning something new and then stopped, I don't know, maybe 30 times in my life. Different things, different years, same pattern.
30 times sounds like a lot.
It does, and every single time I had a reason, a good reason. Life got busy, the timing wasn't right, I lost momentum, I needed a break.
But
But somewhere around the 20th time, I started to wonder if the reason wasn't really about timing or life or momentum, if the real pattern wasn't out there in the circumstances, but in here, in me.
and that's a very different problem to solve.
A completely different problem, and today, that's the problem we're solving.
I'm Jake.
And I'm Anna. Welcome to Speak First English, where we speak first and think second.
And today we're talking about the cycle that most people know intimately, but almost nobody talks about directly. You start something with real energy, real intention, and then somewhere between the beginning and the finish, you stop. And then you start again, and stop again.
And the starts feel good. The fresh beginning always feels good. But the middle, the long, unglamorous, difficult middle, that's where things fall apart.
Today we figure out why, and more importantly, how to finally stick.
Today's topic, why you keep starting over and how to finally stick.
And we want to say something right at the beginning. If you have started over many times with English, with exercise, with a habit, with a goal, you are not lazy, you are not undisciplined, you are not broken.
The restart cycle is one of the most human patterns there is, and it has specific, identifiable causes. And once you understand the causes, you can address them specifically, practically, permanently.
And for English learners, this is critically important because language learning is one of the longest journeys you can take. There is no arrival in 6 weeks, no fluency in 30 days. It is a years-long process with no clear finish line.
And without understanding why people stop and how to stop stopping, almost everyone will cycle through start, progress, stop, restart, start, progress, stop, restart.
Today, we break the cycle, not with motivation, not with inspiration, with understanding.
Before we start, please share this episode. Share it with someone who has told you, I keep starting English and then stopping, because they're not alone, and today they find out why and what to do.
Anna, let's start with the actual question. Why do people keep starting over? What is the root of the cycle?
The core problem is almost never willpower, almost never discipline, almost never lack of time. Those are the symptoms. The root is almost always one of three things, and usually a combination of all three.
Tell us.
First, the goal is attached to an outcome, not a practice. Second, the system is designed for the best day, not the average day. Third, the identity hasn't shifted to match the new behavior.
Let's unpack each of those because they all matter.
Think of it like trying to grow a plant in a pot that's too small. You water it, you give it sunlight, you do everything right, but the roots have nowhere to go, and eventually the plant stops growing, not because you did anything wrong, because the container was wrong.
And most people blame the plant.
Most people blame themselves. I'm not disciplined enough. I don't have what it takes. But actually, the pot was wrong. The system was wrong. The goal was set up in a way that made stopping inevitable.
And once you understand which part of the container is wrong, you can change the container, not the plant, the container.
That's the whole episode. Find the right container and the plant grows. Anna, you mentioned 30 starts. Can you tell us about one specific time? A time when you finally broke the cycle? Yes, and this is embarrassing because of how simple the solution turned out to be. I had been trying to build a consistent journaling habit for years, starting over every few months, always with great intentions, always with a beautiful new notebook.
The beautiful new notebook, the universal symbol of a fresh start that won't last.
Exactly. And every time I stopped, I would tell myself the same things. I just need to find the right time of day. I need to make it shorter. I need a better system.
And none of that was actually the problem?
None of it. The real problem was this. every time I missed a day, I felt like I had failed, and the failure felt so bad that starting again felt like punishment. So instead of starting again, I avoided the whole thing, because avoiding it meant not having to feel the failure again.
The avoidance of the failure feeling became bigger than the practice itself.
Completely. And what finally broke the cycle? A very simple rule. I made one decision. Missing one day is normal. Missing 2 in a row is what I protect against. That's it. The whole rule.
Never miss twice.
Never miss twice. And suddenly, missing one day stopped feeling like failure. It felt like weather, a rainy day. And rainy days pass, and the next day you just continue. No drama, no restart, just continue.
And did the journaling habit stick?
Still going, 3 years. Not perfect, never perfectly consistent, but continuous, because I stopped treating imperfection as failure, and I stopped letting the failure feeling be the reason to quit.
The failure feeling was the enemy, not the inconsistency.
The feeling was the trap, and once I understood that, I could step around it. Let's get into the tips. Tip 1, and this is the deepest cause of the restart cycle. Tip 1, close the identity gap.
The identity gap. Tell us what it is.
The identity gap is the space between the behavior you're trying to build and who you believe yourself to be. When those two things don't match, the behavior is always fragile because you're fighting your own self-image every single day.
Give us an example.
Okay, imagine someone says, "I'm trying to become a person who exercises regularly." That phrase, trying to become, reveals the gap. They are not yet, in their own mind, a person who exercises. They are someone trying to become that person, and that distance between who they are and who they're trying to be requires constant willpower to maintain.
But if they said, "I am someone who moves my body every day,"
everything changes, because now the behavior matches the identity. Exercising is not the goal, it's the expression of who they already are, and when a behavior is self-expression rather than self-improvement, it is incredibly difficult to abandon, because abandoning it would feel like abandoning yourself.
So for English learners, the shift is from "I'm learning English" to "I'm an English speaker."
Exactly. Not "I'm trying to be fluent," but I am someone who speaks English, imperfectly, still growing, but already someone who uses this language.
And that identity, once it's real, means missing practice doesn't feel like falling behind. It feels like not being yourself for a day, which is uncomfortable enough to make you return.
The identity gap. Close it, not by achieving fluency first, but by claiming the identity before you feel fully deserving of it. Grow into it. The identity leads the behavior, not the other way around.
Tip number 2, and this one explains the specific moment in the journey when most people stop. Tip 2, understand and escape the honeymoon trap.
The honeymoon trap, yes. Every new habit, every new practice, every new language journey starts with a honeymoon period.
The first week is always exciting. New vocabulary is exciting. Progress is visible. Everything feels fresh and possible.
And the brain releases dopamine for novelty. The new thing feels good simply because it's new, and that good feeling, that motivation, feels like evidence that this time will be different. This time, you'll stick.
But it's not evidence of anything. It's just novelty.
It's just novelty, and novelty fades. Around week 2, week 3, sometimes sooner, the excitement drops. Progress becomes less visible. The vocabulary feels harder. The podcast is still interesting, but the initial rush is gone.
And this is the exact moment most people stop.
Because they interpret the fading excitement as a signal. I must have chosen the wrong thing. It's not working. Maybe I'm not cut out for this. When actually, the fading excitement is completely normal. It's the honeymoon ending, not the relationship ending.
So how do you escape the honeymoon trap?
Know it's coming. Name it when it arrives. When the excitement drops, say to yourself, "This is the honeymoon trap. The novelty is wearing off. This is completely normal. This is where the real practice begins."
Because the real practice begins after the excitement fades. That's when you're actually building something.
The first week is the spark. The second and third weeks, when the excitement is gone and you still show up, that's when the habit actually forms. Most people quit right before the real progress starts because they mistake the end of the honeymoon for the end of the story.
Tip number 3, and this one is about the system, the practical structure of your habit. Tip 3, design for your worst day.
We've touched on this before, but in the context of the restart cycle, it's even more critical because most people design their habits for their best day.
I'll practice English for 1 hour every morning. Sounds great on Monday, impossible by Thursday.
Because Thursday has a meeting at 7, and the kids are sick, and you slept badly, and the hour doesn't happen, and the failure feeling arrives, and the cycle begins again.
So instead, design for Thursday. Design for the worst version of a normal week. What can you do when everything goes wrong?
Maybe 5 minutes, maybe 1 podcast episode on the commute, maybe 3 vocabulary words while making coffee. That's the system.
And on the good days, you do more, naturally, because you have the energy and the time. But the minimum, the floor, is designed for the bad days.
And here's the key insight about designing for the worst day. When the floor is low enough that you always clear it, you never feel like a failure. You always have a win, even a small one.
And small wins are the fuel for continuing. Not big wins, small ones, every day.
Think of it like building a bridge. The bridge needs to hold weight on the worst day, the storm, the flood, the unexpected load. If it's only designed for sunny weather, it fails the first time conditions change.
Your habit is a bridge. Build it for the storm, and when the sun comes, you'll cross it easily.
Design for the worst day. Set the floor low. Clear it every day, and let the accumulation of small wins build something you actually keep. Tip number 4, and this one is for the moment after you've already stopped, the moment when the restart is needed. Tip 4, reframe the restart.
Because the way you think about the restart determines everything about what happens next.
Most people think about a restart as a reset to 0. I stopped for 3 weeks. All my progress is gone. I have to start again from nothing.
And that framing is both inaccurate and devastating because it makes every stop catastrophic. Every gap is a collapse. Every pause is a failure.
But what if the restart wasn't a return to 0, but a return to practice?
A return to practice, not a reset, not a failure, not proof that you can't do this, just the practice resuming after a pause.
Think about musicians. A professional musician who takes a 2-week break doesn't become a beginner again. Their muscle memory remains, their ear remains, their understanding remains. They need to warm up, but they don't start over.
And neither do you. Every time you've practiced English, every episode you've listened to, every sentence you've said, every word you've learned, it is still there. The brain has it. A pause doesn't erase it.
So the restart is not humiliating. It's just picking up where you left off, even if there's a gap, even if the gap was long.
Here's the language for reframing the restart. Instead of, I failed and I'm starting over again, say, I took a pause and I'm returning to practice.
Instead of, I have to start from 0, say, I'm warming up. Everything I learned is still there.
Instead of, why can't I just stick to things, say, I'm someone who returns, and returning is the skill.
Returning is the skill, not the absence of stopping. The ability to return, without drama, without shame, without the weight of failure. That's what finally sticking looks like.
The restart is not evidence that you can't do this. It's evidence that you're still trying, and still trying is the only thing that matters. And our final tip, tip 5. And this one gives you the English to talk about this experience, the cycle, the restart, the eventual sticking, with other people. Tip 5. Learn the sticking point language.
Because this experience, the restart cycle, comes up in real conversations in English.
Someone asks, how's your English going? And the honest answer is, I've started and stopped a few times. I'm trying to stick this time. And if you have the language for that, the conversation can go somewhere real.
Let's build the language for talking about the restart cycle.
I've been in a start-stop pattern with this. I'm trying to break the cycle. Honest and self-aware, shows reflection.
I find the beginning easy. It's the middle I struggle with. Specific and relatable. Almost everyone identifies with this.
I've started over more times than I'd like to admit, but this time I'm approaching it differently. Vulnerable and forward-looking. The differently invites a follow-up question.
Consistency is something I'm actively working on. I'm building the habit rather than relying on motivation. Sophisticated shows understanding of how habits actually work.
I had a gap, but I came back, and coming back is what matters. Simple, dignified, true.
And for asking others, do you find it hard to stay consistent with things? What helps you stick? Opens a real conversation about something most people experience but rarely discuss.
Have you ever broken a habit and then successfully rebuilt it? What did you do differently the second time? That question, asked with genuine curiosity, can unlock one of the most useful conversations you'll ever have, because almost everyone has a story about finally sticking, and those stories contain real wisdom.
The sticking point language. Talk about the cycle honestly. It's not shameful, it's human, and humans who talk about it honestly find it easier to break.
Anna, today's words are about patterns, habits, and the language of finally changing. Let's look at them.
Yes, our word tour. These words will help you talk about consistency, the restart cycle, and building lasting habits in real natural English.
First word, consistent or consistency.
We've used this throughout the series, but in the context of sticking, it means something very specific. Consistent means showing up regularly, not perfectly, not without gaps, but with enough regularity that the habit exists. I'm not perfect, but I am consistent, and consistent is what actually changes things. Or consistency is not the absence of breaks, it's the pattern of returning.
Next, momentum.
Momentum is the energy that builds when you keep going, the forward motion that makes continuing easier than stopping. Once I hit week 3, the momentum started carrying me. Or the hardest part is building the initial momentum. After that, the habit feeds itself.
Then sabotage or self-sabotage.
To sabotage means to damage or destroy something. Self-sabotage is when you unconsciously undermine your own efforts. I think I was self-sabotaging. Every time I got close to being consistent, I'd find a reason to stop. Or understanding why I self-sabotaged helped me finally break the pattern.
We also used friction.
Friction is resistance, the things that make a habit harder to do. Reducing friction means making the habit easier to start. I reduced the friction by putting my podcast app on the home screen of my phone. Or most habits fail not because of lack of will, but because of too much friction.
And sustainable.
Sustainable means something you can maintain long-term without burning out. I needed a sustainable practice, not an impressive one. Or ask yourself, can I still do this in 6 months? If not, make it smaller until you can.
And one more, accountability.
Accountability means being responsible to someone or something for your actions. It keeps you honest. Writing my practice in the comments kept me accountable. Or I found that public accountability, telling someone what I plan to do, made me actually do it.
Your Speaking Gym Challenge today, write in the comments what is one habit you've started and stopped before, and what is one thing from today you'll try differently. Public accountability, right now. That's your rep. Before we finish, 4 steps, starting with the most important one.
Step 1. Close the identity gap. Tonight, say this out loud. I am an English speaker, still growing, still learning, but already using this language. That is who I am. Say it, mean it, grow into it.
Step 2. Design your floor. What is the absolute minimum English practice you can do every day, even on your worst day? Name it, write it down. That is your daily non-negotiable.
Step 3. Expect the honeymoon trap. When the excitement fades, around week 2 or 3, say, this is the trap. This is where I stop. Not this time. I walk through this.
And step 4. If you stopped, return without drama. No speech, no new beginning, no beautiful new notebook, just the next practice. Today, where you left off.
Quick recap.
Tip 1. The identity gap. Close it. You are already who you're trying to become. Claim it. Let the behavior follow.
Tip 2. The honeymoon trap. Excitement fades. That is not failure. That is the beginning of the real practice.
Tip 3. Design for your worst day. The floor should be low enough that you always clear it. Small wins every day.
Tip 4. Reframe the restart. Returning is the skill. You are not starting from zero. You are warming up and continuing.
Tip 5, the sticking point language. Talk about the cycle honestly, in English. The language of sticking helps you stick.
Our question for today.
How many times have you started learning English or started any important habit before this time?
Write the number in the comments. No judgment, just honesty. And then tell us what is the one thing you're doing differently this time.
Because this time is different. Not because you're more motivated, because you understand something now that you didn't before.
And understanding, real understanding, changes everything.
You showed up today. That's not a restart, that's a continuation, and continuation is everything.
This was Speak First English.
Until next time, speak first, think second, and please, the next time you stop, come back. Without the speech, without the drama, without the new notebook. Just come back. Take care.
Bye, everyone.
Bye-bye.